Hi, I'm Bart Herbison, Executive Director of the Nashville Songwriters Association, and this week for the Nashville Tennessean, the story behind the song, She Thinks My Tractor's Sexy, Mr. Jim Collins. Welcome,
Yes,
Jim.
I'm the one.
Well, let's go. Let's see. Massey Ferguson, Alice Chalmers, John Deere, because we'll talk about the second tractor song in a minute. But
Okay.
this is what started it, and I love the way this song was born. You and Paul Overstreet.
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, Paul and I used to be neighbors, or we lived pretty close to each other, and we actually we were writing that day with another writer. I won't name his name, and you'll find out in a minute. But Paul was telling us the story about how his tractor broke down, and he had to go get a part for this tractor, and he has 6 children, and so his wife asked him, "Would it be okay if I ride along with you?" And so he said, "Yeah, come on." And so they get in the car, and he was saying all the way to the tractor place, the John Deere place, he said that she was kissing on his neck, and he was about to wreck the car, and we started laughing, and I can't remember. I think I said, "Well, I guess she thought your tractor was sexy," and we got a big laugh out of that, and I said, "Let's write that. Let's write. That's a song, And the other guy that was with us that day, he goes, "Oh, that's stupid. I don't want to write that, And so we wound up writing this real heavy song about, some grandpa dying and the family around the bed and everything. And the minute he left, I looked at Paul and I said, "Let's write that other." And so we did. And I have to say, I mean, it was a silly idea. And when we first started writing it, I never dreamed anybody would ever cut it, but I knew I liked it, and we wrote it just from fun, and I think it must have come through in the song. And hey, let's face it, where I'm from, She Thinks My Tractor Sexy is a love song,
Well,
where
I'll
I
pronounce
come
it
from,
correctly. It's Nacogdoches.
Nacogdoches,
Texas.
that's right, Nacogdoches, Texas.
Jim, from the first day I met you, you're one of my favorite performing songwriters. You're one of my favorite artists.
Thank
And I know
you, thank
The
you.
record deal thing never quite happened from you. We're both Elvis fans. I hear a little bit of that in the groove in that song.
Yeah, it's got a little of that hunk of burning love kind of thing,
man.
a hunk of
It's
burning
so
love, yeah,
infectious.
yeah.
So, did it happen quick? Did you have to come back
He,
and finish it?
honestly, no. We wrote it in 45 minutes. I used to get teased. I have a lot of songwriters who are real, serious artists, and I had this one come up to me and he goes, "Jim," he says, "I don't get it." He says, "I come in every day and I write. I try to pour my heart and soul into every song." He said, "I leave blood on that page. And then you come in 45 minutes and write a tractor song and sell gazillion records, And I said, well,
And I know you're known for that song, but a lot of others, because you've written some of the most moving songs in my lifetime. Then They Do, and I mean I could start naming all your songs.
Yeah, the good stuff.
The good stuff, just on and on and on. But
I'll always be the tractor guy.
because here came another one not long ago.
Yeah, I
Big
did.
Green
So
Tractor.
yeah, 13 years later, after She Thinks My Tractor's Sexy, I was writing one day with David Lee Murphy, and he came in and he goes, "Hey man, you wouldn't be willing to write another tractor song, would you?" And I said, "Gosh, I don't know." I said, "You think the world's ready for another one?" He goes, "Yeah, I think they are." And so I said, "Well, as long as it's not the same kind of thing, And so we came up with a Big Green Tractor, and then of course it was a big #1 song on Jason Aldean,
You know, 12 years from now, you got to go for the trifecta.
Well, I got an idea for one
Do you
already. Yeah, it's called "He's Got the Tractor Factor." She's got.
Don't give it away.
Yeah,
man.
anyway, no, I'll come up with something.
But I would think that one of the companies would have just given you it.
Man, I can't even get a ball cap from John Deere. I swear, I'm gonna have to work on that. Somebody needs to call him and get,
Lindsey Gums off camera over here. We're buying him a John Deere. We're going to
yeah.
buy him a doggone ball cap.
You think a lawnmower or something,
Have you ever
but
driven a tractor?
oh, I was raised on a dairy farm. It's funny, when Big Green Tractor came out, I got this phone call from Phil O'Donnell, who's a big producer here in town and a great songwriter, and he called me up and he goes, "I bet you've never even been on a tractor." And I told him I grew up on a dairy farm. We had a lot of tractors, and I did do a lot of that. So he said, "Well, I feel better about it already."
Well, one of the best, and the story behind the song this week, She thinks my tractor's sexy. We're going to hear a verse and a chorus.
All right,
Mr. Jim
if
Collins.
I can remember it. All right, here we go. Plowing these fields in a hot summer sun, over by the gate, Lordy, here she comes, with a basket full of chicken and a big old jug of sweet tea. I make a little room and she climbs on up. I open up the throttle and stir a little dust. Just look at her face, she ain't fooling me. She thinks my tractor's sexy, it really turns her on. She's always staring.